Discover the banteng, Asia's rare wild ox. In the dense tropical forests and grasslands of Southeast Asia, a magnificent yet increasingly rare bovine roams silently through the shadows. The banteng, Bos javanicus, Asia's most endangered wild cattle species, represents one of nature's most impressive yet vulnerable creatures. With its striking appearance, complex social behaviors, and critical ecological role, the banteng stands as both a testament to evolutionary adaptation and a stark reminder of humanity's impact on wildlife. Physical characteristics: nature's living sculpture. The banteng is a creature of striking contrasts and elegant proportions. Adult bulls can reach impressive dimensions, standing 1.5 to 1.7 meters at the shoulder and weighing between 600 to 800 kilograms. Their robust build reflects generations of adaptation to diverse Asian landscapes, from dense jungles to open savannas. Perhaps the most distinctive feature of the banteng is its dramatic sexual dimorphism. Bulls display a rich, dark brown to black coat that gleams with an almost metallic sheen in dappled sunlight. Their massive heads are crowned by distinctive white patches above the eyes, creating an almost mask-like appearance that adds to their imposing presence. The characteristic white rump patch and white stockings on all four legs create a striking contrast against their dark bodies, making them unmistakable even from a distance. Cows and young bulls present an entirely different appearance, sporting warm reddish-brown coats that provide excellent camouflage in their forest environments. This lighter coloration helps them blend seamlessly with the dappled light and autumn-colored vegetation of their habitat. Both sexes possess the species' signature horns, which curve gracefully backward and slightly inward, though bulls' horns are significantly more robust and can span up to 75 centimeters from tip to tip. The banteng's build reflects its dual nature as both a forest dweller and grassland grazer. Their legs are sturdy yet elegant, designed for navigating through dense undergrowth while maintaining the agility needed to escape predators across open terrain. Their compact yet powerful frame allows them to move with surprising grace for such large animals, a necessity in their increasingly fragmented habitats. Geographic distribution and habitat preferences. Historically, banteng ranged across a vast swath of Southeast Asia, from Myanmar and Thailand through Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam, extending south through peninsular Malaysia and into the Indonesian islands of Java, Borneo, and Bali. This extensive range reflected the species' remarkable adaptability to diverse environments, from tropical rainforests to deciduous woodlands, grasslands, and even agricultural margins. Today, this once continuous range has been fragmented into isolated pockets, with the largest remaining populations found in Cambodia, Java, and Borneo. The species has been completely extirpated from several countries, including Bangladesh and possibly Myanmar, while surviving populations in other areas have been reduced to tiny, isolated groups struggling to maintain genetic diversity. Banteng demonstrate remarkable habitat flexibility, occupying environments ranging from sea level to elevations of up to 2,100 meters. They show a preference for areas that combine forest cover with adjacent grasslands or clearings, allowing them to take advantage of both shelter and grazing opportunities. This edge habitat preference unfortunately puts them in direct conflict with human activities, as these same areas are highly valued for agriculture and settlement. During the dry season, banteng often concentrate near permanent water sources, while the wet season allows them to disperse more widely across their territory. They are primarily crepuscular, being most active during the cooler hours of dawn and dusk, though they may adjust their activity patterns in response to human disturbance, becoming more nocturnal in areas with high human presence. Social structure and behavior. A complex society. The social organization of banteng reflects a sophisticated system that has evolved to maximize survival in challenging environments. The basic social unit consists of small herds typically numbering 8 to 30 individuals, though groups of up to 40 have been observed in areas with abundant resources. Female banteng form the core of these social groups, consisting of related cows, their calves, and juvenile offspring. These matriarchal herds are led by an experienced female who guides the group to feeding areas, water sources, and safe resting sites. The knowledge accumulated by these matriarchs over decades becomes crucial for the survival of the entire group, particularly during periods of drought or other environmental stress. Adult bulls lead largely solitary lives for much of the year, joining female herds only during the breeding season. However, young bulls often form bachelor groups before reaching full maturity, learning essential survival skills and establishing social hierarchies that will influence their future reproductive success. These bachelor groups serve as a crucial transitional phase, allowing young males to develop the strength and experience necessary for independent survival. The breeding season typically occurs during the dry months, when nutritional stress is lower and the chances of calf survival are maximized. During this period, dominant bulls compete fiercely for access to receptive females, engaging in dramatic displays of strength and dominance. These contests involve ritualized posturing, pushing matches with locked horns, and impressive demonstrations of size and strength. Communication among Banteng involves a complex repertoire of vocalizations, including low-frequency calls that can travel long distances through dense forest, warning snorts, and gentle lowing between mothers and calves. Scent marking also plays a crucial role in Banteng society, with both sexes using various glands to leave chemical messages about their identity, reproductive status, and territorial claims. Ecological role: ecosystem engineers. The ecological importance of Banteng extends far beyond their impressive physical presence. As large herbivores, they serve as ecosystem engineers, shaping the landscapes they inhabit through their feeding, movement, and behavioral patterns. Their grazing activities help maintain the grassland forest mosaic that characterizes much of their habitat, preventing the complete forest enclosure of grasslands while creating the diverse edge habitats that support numerous other species. Banteng are primarily grazers, consuming a variety of grasses, herbs, shoots, and fruits. Their feeding preferences change seasonally, with fresh grass shoots dominating their diet during the wet season, while they rely more heavily on browse and fallen fruits during drier periods. This dietary flexibility has allowed them to adapt to various habitats and seasonal changes, though it also makes them vulnerable to habitat degradation and fragmentation. As they move through their territory, Banteng create and maintain trails that are used by numerous other species, from small mammals to large predators. These pathways facilitate movement and gene flow for many forest species, making Banteng crucial for maintaining ecological connectivity in fragmented landscapes. The species also plays a vital role in seed dispersal, carrying seeds in their digestive systems and depositing them far from parent plants through their dung. This service is particularly important for large-seeded forest plants that rely on large mammals for long-distance dispersal. Some plant species have likely co-evolved with Banteng and other large Asian herbivores, and their conservation is intrinsically linked to the survival of their animal dispersers. Conservation status: racing against extinction. The conservation status of the Banteng presents one of the most urgent challenges in Asian wildlife conservation. Listed as endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, the species has experienced devastating population declines over the past several decades. Current estimates suggest that fewer than 8,000 individuals survive in the wild, with some subspecies facing even more critical situations. The Bali Banteng, Bos javanicus javanicus, found only on the Indonesian island of Bali, represents perhaps the most precarious situation, with fewer than 10 individuals believed to survive in Bali Barat National Park. The Javan Banteng, once numbering in the thousands, now exists in small, isolated populations scattered across Java's remaining protected areas. Population declines have been attributed to a combination of factors, with habitat loss and fragmentation representing the most significant threats. The conversion of forest and grassland habitat for agriculture, palm oil plantations, and human settlements has eliminated vast areas of suitable Banteng habitat. What remains is often highly fragmented, creating isolated populations that are vulnerable to genetic bottlenecks and local extinction. Hunting pressure, both for meat and for the illegal wildlife trade, continues to impact Banteng populations throughout their range. Traditional hunting practices that once maintained sustainable harvest levels have been replaced by commercial hunting operations that can quickly deplete local populations. The species' impressive horns and hide make them particularly attractive targets for trophy hunters and collectors. Disease transmission from domestic cattle presents an emerging threat that could have catastrophic consequences for wild banteng populations. As human settlement and livestock operations expand into banteng habitat, the risk of disease transmission increases. Foot and mouth disease, tuberculosis, and other bovine diseases could potentially wipe out entire wild populations that lack immunity to these pathogens. Conservation efforts, hope in action. Despite the challenges facing banteng conservation, numerous initiatives are working to secure the species' future. Protected area management has been strengthened in several key sites, with improved anti-poaching patrols and habitat restoration programs showing promising results. In Cambodia, the Eastern Plains landscape represents one of the most significant banteng conservation success stories. Collaborative efforts between government agencies, international conservation organizations, and local communities have resulted in improved protection for one of the world's largest remaining banteng populations. Camera trap surveys and GPS collar studies have provided valuable insights into banteng ecology and behavior, informing more effective conservation strategies. Captive breeding programs have been established in several countries, though these efforts face significant challenges related to maintaining genetic diversity and developing appropriate release protocols. The successful maintenance of captive populations serves as an important genetic reservoir and provides opportunities for research that would be impossible with wild animals. Community-based conservation initiatives have shown particular promise in areas where local people have traditionally coexisted with banteng. These programs work to provide alternative livelihoods that reduce pressure on natural resources while engaging local communities as active partners in conservation efforts. Habitat restoration efforts are focusing on reconnecting fragmented banteng populations through the establishment of wildlife corridors and the restoration of degraded habitats. These initiatives recognize that long-term banteng conservation requires landscape-scale approaches that address the species' need for large territories and population connectivity. The path forward, securing the future. The future of the banteng depends on our collective commitment to addressing the complex challenges facing this magnificent species. Success will require coordinated action across multiple fronts, from strengthening protected area management to addressing the underlying drivers of habitat loss and fragmentation. International cooperation will be essential as banteng populations cross national borders and face similar threats throughout their range. Regional conservation strategies that coordinate efforts across countries offer the best hope for maintaining viable populations and genetic connectivity. Research continues to reveal new aspects of banteng ecology and behavior that are crucial for developing effective conservation strategies. Long-term studies using modern technology such as GPS collars, camera traps, and genetic analysis are providing unprecedented insights into banteng's spatial ecology, population dynamics, and genetic structure. The integration of banteng conservation with broader landscape management approaches offers opportunities to achieve conservation goals while supporting sustainable development. Ecotourism, sustainable forestry, and community-based natural resource management can provide economic incentives for banteng conservation while supporting local livelihoods. Conclusion: a call to action. The banteng stands at a critical juncture in its evolutionary history. This remarkable species, which has survived ice ages and centuries of environmental change, now faces its greatest challenge in the form of rapid human-induced habitat transformation. The choices we make in the coming decades will determine whether future generations will have the opportunity to witness the majesty of wild banteng in their natural habitats. The conservation of the banteng is not just about saving a single species. It represents our commitment to maintaining the ecological integrity of Southeast Asia's irreplaceable natural heritage. As ecosystem engineers and umbrella species, banteng conservation efforts protect entire ecological communities and maintain the ecosystem services upon which human communities depend. The story of the banteng reminds us that wildlife conservation is ultimately about the choices we make as a global community. By supporting conservation initiatives, demanding sustainable products, and advocating for protected areas, Each of us can contribute to ensuring that Asia's magnificent wild ox continues to roam the forests and grasslands where it has lived for millennia. In saving the Banteng, we save not just a species, but a symbol of the wild heart of Asia itself. The time for action is now, before it becomes too late for one of the world's most remarkable and endangered mammals.